Welcome to The Parent Thing. Hi, I'm Taryn, your host, and I'm so excited you're here. This is the space where we uncover the incredible potential of childhood, parenting, and the power of neurosomatic intelligence. Whether you're a parent, teacher, caregiver, or someone who deeply impacts a child's life, this podcast is your guide to nurturing emotional resilience, fostering growth, and building meaningful connections. Together, we'll explore cutting-edge insights, practical tools, and heartfelt stories to empower you in shaping the next generation. Join me each week as we dive into strategies, science, and stories that inspire and transform. Let's reimagine what's possible for the children we care about and for ourselves. Now, let's begin this inspiring journey together. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Parent Thing, the podcast where we explore the science and heart of raising emotionally healthy, resilient, and confident kids. I'm your host, Taryn, and today we're diving into a topic that really shapes the way we connect with our children every single day: attachment styles. Now, if you ever wondered why your child clings to you in certain situations, or why they seem super independent, or maybe why you sometimes struggle with staying calm in moments of stress. Attachment has a lot to do with it. So today we're unpacking what attachment styles are, the four main attachment styles in both adults and children, how your attachment style influences your parenting, and what you can do to foster secure attachment with your child, even if you didn't grow up with it yourself, or rather, especially if you didn't grow up with it yourself. So stay with me, because by the end, we'll have some practical tools that we can use right away. Let's start with the basics. Attachment is the emotional bond that forms between a child and their caregiver. Psychologists John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth were pioneers in this field, and their research showed us something powerful. The quality of that attachment bond usually shapes the way our brain develops, especially the parts involved in emotional regulation, trust, and relationships. In simple terms, when children feel safe, seen, soothed, and secure, they develop what's called a secure attachment style. That becomes the foundation for their self esteem, emotional intelligence, and even how they'll form friendships, partnerships, and work relationships later in life. But here's the key: our own attachment patterns as parents often show up in how we interact with our kids. This is where it gets really interesting and sometimes a little uncomfortable, a little confronting. There are four main attachment styles. Let's break them down. First on the list is secure attachment. Children with secure attachment trust that their caregiver will be there for them. As adults, secure people are comfortable with intimacy and independence. In parenting, secure parents can usually balance nurturing with boundaries. They're responsive but not overbearing. The second attachment style is the anxious attachment or preoccupied attachment. Children with anxious attachment often feel unsure if their caregiver will meet their needs consistently. They might become clingy, fearful of separation, or overly focused on keeping the caregiver close. As adults, anxious attachments look like fear of abandonment, needing lots of reassurance, or struggling when a partner pulls away. In parenting, anxious parents may over-monitor their child, feel easily triggered by rejection, or swing between very present and then very overwhelmed. The third one is avoidant attachment. These children learn early that expressing needs doesn't always get them comfort. They may appear very independent, but often it's just a coping strategy. Adults with avoidant attachment tend to value independence, sometimes to the point of emotional distance. As parents, avoidant adults might struggle with emotional closeness, dismiss their child's feelings, or encourage self sufficiency too early. The last one, number four, is disorganized or fearful attachment. This style often comes from inconsistent, chaotic, or even frightening caregiving. Children may display contradictory behaviors, wanting closeness, but also being fearful of it. As adults, disorganized attachment can show up as both craving connection and fearing intimacy. In parenting, it might mean difficulty regulating emotions, high stress responses, or unintentionally passing on unresolved trauma. Here's a quick reminder though: attachment isn't about being a good or a bad parent. It's about patterns we develop, often unconsciously. And the wonderful news is that attachment can change. Both the children and adults can move towards secure attachment with awareness and intentional practice. So, how does your attachment style influence your child's development? Secure parents usually provide a constant safe base. Their kids are more likely to explore, knowing that they can come back for comfort. Anxious parents might unintentionally communicate, "You need to manage my feelings," which can make kids hyper aware of others' moods. And an example that I think of when, or thought of when I was writing this, was how often a parent says, "Stop that, you're making me angry," or "Do you want me to be upset?" That is asking your child to manage your feelings, which is quite a big task for a little person. Avoidant parents might unintentionally send the message that feelings are too much, leading kids to suppress emotions. And then disorganized parents might have unpredictable responses, leaving children unsure what to expect. This creates confusion and stress in the developing nervous system. Now remember, kids are incredibly resilient. Even if you recognize yourself in one of these insecure patterns, this doesn't mean your child is doomed. What matters most is something called good enough parenting, because nobody can be a perfect parent. That means being responsive most of the time, repairing when things go wrong, and showing your child that relationships can recover after conflict. If you are sitting and listening and thinking, "Wow, I see myself in anxious or avoidant patterns," first of all, you are not alone. So many of us grew up without fully secure models, but attachment is not fixed, it is fluid. Here are some practical ways to move forward towards secure attachment with your child. Number one, self awareness. Notice your own triggers. For example, do you get anxious when your child pulls away? Do you shut down when they cry? Do you do something to get them to stop crying very quickly? Awareness is the first step to breaking patterns. Number two, regulating your nervous system. Your child's brain literally co regulates with yours. Taking deep breaths, grounding exercises, or pausing before you react helps your child to feel safe. If you need some help regulating your nervous system, please click the link in my show notes or in the bio of my TikTok and Instagram pages. I've created a free downloadable guide with 5 simple exercises you can do to regulate your nervous system. Number three, repair after rupture. Every relationship has ruptures. What matters is repair, apologizing, explaining, and reconnecting. This teaches children resilience and trust. Remember that children do not have the ability to recognize your patterns of dysregulation. They immediately begin to think that there is something wrong with them or that they are the problem. When you make amends, it teaches them that we all make mistakes. It teaches them that they are not the problem, but that you had a moment that wasn't handled well. It also teaches them to take accountability and apologize sincerely when they do something wrong. Number four is modeling emotional literacy, naming your own feelings and validating your child's. Examples would be like, "I'm feeling frustrated, but I can handle it." Or saying to your child, "I see that you're sad, and I'm here with you. Number five is seeking support, and I am such an advocate for seeking good counsel. So, therapy, coaching, parent groups, the list goes on. All of these can help you rewrite old attachment patterns and give your child a more secure base. The bottom line is this: secure attachment is less about being perfect and more about being present, responsive, and willing to repair. This has been such a packed episode, but to wrap up, attachment styles are patterns of connection that influence how we relate to others. Our own attachment style shows up in our parenting, often in subtle ways. But with awareness, regulation, and repair, we can create secure, nurturing environments for our children, even if we didn't have that ourselves. If this episode resonated with you, I encourage you to reflect. What attachment style do you most identify with? And how might that show up in your parenting? Remember that every step you take towards understanding yourself is also a step toward giving your child a stronger, more secure foundation. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Parent Thing. If you want more resources or tips and tools to become calmer and a more connected parent, remember to head over to the link in the show notes or the link in the bio of my TikTok and Instagram pages to download your free Calm Parent Starter Kit. Until next time, remember, parenting is not about perfection, it is about connection.
Thank you for tuning into the parenting. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have any questions, feedback,